And welcome back to In the Locker Room with Jorge and the Truth. We finally got a guy from the defensive side of the football on the show this morning. Scott Brantley, the former Gator, former Buccaneer, now part of the Buccaneer Network on the radio. Thanks for being here, and let's start with your thoughts about this football team this year.
Well, it's very special, and it's a long time, coming. I mean, there was a great, I played on the last division winner way back in the early 80s, and we haven't got there yet, but with 3 games to play, you got to feel very confident that we're on the right course, and we got the utmost of confidence as a team. I think it's a beautiful thing to watch, I tell you. Love to be a part of it, but I'm a part of it from the radio booth now, and I tell you what, I wake up on Monday morning a lot fresher than I did as a player.
I was going to say, I know you're working out. Your weight isn't much different from your playing days, is it?
No, not much. It really isn't. About maybe 4 pounds, maybe something like that. But it's distributed a little different.
Yeah. Your transition up to the broadcast booth, how has that been, and how do you, handle balance being critical or objective about what you're seeing?
Well, I think you got to be honest. If you're honest, in what you see, and don't try to, sugarcoat anything, but really kind of be as honest as you can be. I think people appreciate honesty and saying like it is. I mean, you got to be that way. I mean, I have enough rapport with the people and the players, and I spend a lot of time over there, and I go in there and I get my tapes on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I look at that throughout the week to where I have a pretty good idea what's going on. And football doesn't change a whole heck of a lot over the course of time. A lot of things get recycled. We see coaches. I look at the Prescott every week and I say, man, he was here 8 years ago. That guy was here 10 years ago. So what goes around comes around, I think, in the NFL. What it's about execution. And the teams that execute better on Sunday are the ones that win football games. We were 3-4, now we're 9-4. It's an amazing little run that we're on, but it has to continue for 3 more games.
What about the game from when you played now, what you see on the football field? How's that changed?
Well, like I say, I mean, we ran cover 2. We played 2-man. We played some 3-deep zone. We played, 1 free, with a free safety or some jump coverage. I mean, the same thing. Like I say, what goes around comes around. What you see today, I saw, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and even when I came into the league in 1980, it's basically the same thing. We're not talking about brain surgery. We're talking about football. So it's about execution, and the patterns you see today and the running game that you see today is basically what you saw, when I played. It's just that it's a different version, maybe a little bit bigger and faster and stronger, but it's still football.
Is he hitting the nail on the head here?
Yeah, pretty much. Brant, what do you think this week? We're going to Oakland. What do you, a little insight?
I love that because, Oakland's one of those traditional teams that's been around. Their uniforms have never changed in, 25, 30 years probably. And, Al Davis, in his jumpsuit on the sideline. And, it looked like he fell out of an airplane out of Hollywood, California. And I'll talk to Kenny Stabler today. Kenny's one of my best friends, and I played against Ken Stabler. That's how old I am. I love the chance of going out there and playing those guys. I think that from a player's standpoint, a modern-day player like y'all are, you got to get excited about going and playing the Raiders, regardless of their record right now.
Yeah, it's another big game. The next 3 weeks are going to be big games for us. As long as we're up on top of our division, we're going to have a team that's going to want to knock us off. And, we just have to come with our A game. If we can go there and play like we did last year in the preseason, we'll be all right.
Guys, good luck with Oakland. George, Carl, Scott, thanks a lot for being here. We appreciate it. Bert Emanuel, Warwick Dunn, we want to thank them also. Hey, be with us next Saturday. Our special guest will be Mike Alstott. And also don't remember to come out here next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. That's when Mike will be here to tape the show. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
In the Locker Room with Jorge and the Truth is a Ralph Chansey advertising production. He's big. He's bad. He's a buck. He'll bash the bad guys. He's been to the big time. He's better than the rest. He'll bust your chops. He's bigger than a bread box. He's Brad. Buccaneer defensive lineman Brad Culpepper brings his attitude from the field onto your television set. Call Brad and talk football only on Sports Wrap.